10 shocking things you did not know about Egypt. The shawarma is different here. If you want to stay in the same hotel room, you have to have a marriage certificate. And if you're going to ride an elevator, make sure to shut the door, if it has one. If you've never been to Egypt before, there are some things here that will probably surprise you. I've been living here for the last 3.5 years, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some things that you might find shocking, surprising, or perhaps merely interesting. Number 1, let's kick it off with the most shocking thing that I found about Egypt when I first arrived to the country: their marriage law. According to Egyptian law, you must be married to stay in the same hotel room together with the opposite sex. So, if you want to stay in the same hotel room, you have to have a marriage certificate. That is, however, only for Arab nationals. So if you are a foreigner from a non-Arab country, then you have nothing to worry about. Regardless of whether you are married or not, you do not need to provide a marriage certificate. You do not need to be married. But for Arabs, be warned, whether that is your friend, your partner, just staying in the same hotel room with someone of the opposite sex is not allowed unless you are married with that marriage certificate to provide as proof. Number 2, no PDA. In a similar thread as with the marriage law, the culture is certainly very different here than many countries in the West or many other countries around the world. And that includes PDA, or public display of affection. Egyptian couples are not showing physical affection out on the streets. So that means no kissing at all. Not even really hugging, although like a quick sneaky hug is okay and can be done. Really only holding hands is acceptable, and even that, you don't see a lot of it when compared to other countries around the world. Number 3, Egyptian shawarma. This is Egyptian shawarma, not this. Number 4, the weather. A common misconception is that Egypt is always hot. It's not. Especially in the winter. So in certain parts of the country, like Sinai for example, they can even get snow up in the mountains. And just all over the country during the winter, it is quite cool. It depends on where you're coming from, the temperatures that you're accustomed to, but I would be prepared for that. I have seen it 5 degrees, 4 degrees Celsius, which is, you know, you take away the sun, you add some wind, and it feels very cold, especially if you're driving a motorcycle like me. Another factor that affects this is a lot of places don't have heating. So like restaurants, nice restaurants and hotels will have heating, but a lot of local places, cafes, many places do not have any heating, and so the outside temperature is like the inside temperature. And of course the summer can be very hot. It is very hot, 43 degrees, 45 degrees. So bring a hand fan for the summer. But yes, just Google the average temperatures of Egypt during the month that you are planning to visit. Look at the seasons, look at the cities, that Google temperatures are accurate, and plan accordingly. Number 5, the numbers. The numbers do look different here. If you've done your research, then you already know this. I apparently did not do my research when I first arrived to Egypt, and I had an uh-oh moment in the airport while waiting for my Uber to pick me up, looking at the license plates and realizing I couldn't read any of them. If you are planning to take any taxis or Ubers around, it can be helpful as well for places that do have things posted, prices listed, such as chip bags, and a lot of things are not labeled, but it's definitely useful for Ubers and taxis. I would say that is the best thing to know the numbers for. So if this is something you are planning to do, I would say it's very beneficial to know the numbers 0 through 9. I have made a video about this, so if you'd like to know more details, information, and learn them, you can watch that up here. Number 6, no word for boyfriend or girlfriend. Now we're talking about the language in regards to relationships. There is a word for husband, there is a word for wife and for fiance, but there's no real word to refer to your intimate partner here in Egypt. Now they don't also have the same kind of relationship as we do in the West, or how we think of it in the West. So if you tell me you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend in many parts of the world, Asia, the West, whatever, I think that you're having sex, you might be living together, but here in Egypt it's a lot more innocent. For example, they're probably not having sex. It's not exactly أهلاً أنا كويسة شكراً سلامة. So yes, while someone might have a girlfriend or boyfriend, it's not exactly socially acceptable. Their parents probably have met them. They're just hanging out and sharing their feelings and intimate in that way. But it's a lot less physical than what we would imagine in the West. But if someone does have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, what word do they use to refer to them? They would either refer to them as habibi, sahbi, or sahbiti. Now sahbi just means male friend, sahbiti means female friend, and habibi, I'm sure you guys all know, it's used very commonly here, very casually as well. So a lot of men refer to other men habibi, shukran, you know, very casual. But it can also be used for your intimate partner. One thing for women, I would say, I wouldn't go around calling everyone habibi here, just because it can be taken the wrong way by men. So I personally don't choose to go around and saying habibi to guys. Yeah, a little bit different. That's just more about the language though, and something that you might not have known. Number 7, elevators. You might see some old elevators while you're here, and that is because they are pretty old. They are not just looking like it. They're probably dating back to the 1920s, the 1930s. Don't worry though, I think they're pretty safe to use. I mean, I use them all the time and I've never had an issue, but I do know that a lot of foreigners that arrive to Egypt are shocked by these elevators and many times scared to get in and use them. If you are taking the old elevators, you should know how to use them. So when you are going into the elevator, there are several sets of doors, and this is what a lot of people make the mistake of doing. They don't close them. So to go up in the elevator, you have to open the first set of doors, if it's an older elevator, and then the second set of doors. And then make sure to close this door. And make sure to close the second set of doors. And then you can move. So let's go up, just to give you guys a quick ride. But yes, this is a mistake a lot of people do, and especially when leaving the elevator, you need to close all of these sets of doors once again so that people on other floors can call the elevator, because it will not move if all of these doors are not shut. So please do this, because it really aggravates the locals and anyone that is living here and wants to use an elevator and cannot because someone did not close all of the doors. And you can see they've posted a sign here in many languages, although a lot of people still don't do that. I don't have anything to do here, so I'm gonna go right back down, but if I were leaving, I would shut both of these doors. I would shut this, make sure everything is clicked and locked and closed, and then it will work. So let's go back in. Ahlan. Shukran. Okay. First set and second set. Shukran. Yalla. All right, guys, that's just a little bit about the elevators. Number 8, children on the streets all alone. Where are their parents? Who knows? They are just roaming freely. In Egypt, it is very common to see this, and I think a lot of foreigners are surprised by that. But to be honest, the streets are quite safe. People are not concerned about their children being abducted like in a lot of other countries. So you will see kids roaming around the streets all hours of the night and during the day. So this is very common. Of course, you know, kidnappings can happen, but it is very rare that it does, and so people feel comfortable with that. Number 9, motorcycles overloaded with humans. You will see families of 5 on motorcycles here, all crushed onto one motorcycle. You will see 4 to 5 teenagers squeezed on a motorcycle racing through traffic. You might see children driving motorcycles here. It's a child with another child. Those are the ones I'm very scared of. Oh my God. yeah, it is. You'll see all kinds of crazy things on the streets of Egypt, actually. But this is one thing that I know really foreigners find shocking, where you might have a man driving a motorcycle with his little 2 or 3-year-old up front holding onto the handlebars in front of him while he is driving, his wife sitting side saddle in the back holding an infant, and another toddler squeezed in between them. So yeah, this is something that a lot of people find shocking, and it is just very commonplace. I could give 1,000 examples of this. I don't even know if I've actually recorded it a lot, but there's a lot of things online that you can see where it is only in Egypt.
Welcome to EGTV, Egyptian traffic visuals. Over here, these brothers are doing the double Superman maneuver for maximum aerodynamics. Wow. Welcome to EGTV, Egyptian traffic visuals. Over here, this guy is a Basha. He is using the crossover leg maneuver, one hand on the steering wheel, relaxing. Wow.
This does happen in Asia, of course, like Southeast Asia and India. There's lots of people squeezed onto motorcycles as well. But I will say, Asians tend to be a little bit smaller than Egyptians. Their frames, their bodies, yeah, it's just DNA. And so while you have a lot of people squeezed onto motorbikes in Asian countries, it isn't quite as shocking because of their size. They can fit more on a bike, but Egyptians are pretty like regular size when compared with Westerners. And so yeah, it is pretty impressive how many people they can fit on a bike. And lastly, number 10, the call to prayer. As everybody knows, Muslims pray 5 times a day, and before that happens, the call to prayer, or Azan, goes off all over the city to announce people that it is time to pray. it is happening, if you are playing music, you should stop that music. Turn it off or turn it way down, because it is considered disrespectful to be playing music while the Azan is going off. Now, I have been to live shows where they stop the entire show until the call to prayer finishes. I have been in taxis where we're having fun, laughing, blasting music. The call to prayer goes off. Oh, turn it off for a second until the call to prayer finishes. So this is something that you might find surprising that I didn't know actually. And the first time that happened, I was like, what? You didn't like the song? But no, it is just a cultural aspect of the country that you should respect while you're here. You know, you are a guest in the country, so bear that in mind. I will be making another video soon with things that you did not know about Egypt. So let me know in the comments what surprised you about your visit to Egypt. And stay tuned for what's coming next, because I will be making another video where I am telling you things that are must-know information for Egypt, included with just some random things that you might find interesting as well. So subscribe, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Ma salama.